So our next step is to add thickness to the streets. So we're going to use the same process that we've already done using the same commands and the same strategies. And so let's turn off, let's everybody get to the same point again. So I'm going to just hide the buildings, and I'm going to hide the parcels, and I'm going to also hide the river. I'm going to keep street solids on because we're going to use those, and all my curves are off, and the only surface I have on is the streets. So the only thing you should see right now is this much information. So once everybody's at this point, what we're going to do now is we're going to extrude these to the proper thickness. It's something that's good to do is to make the model sort of have its lowest point and have everything come down to that lowest point so that the whole model has that thickness. And so I turned on the river topo solids just to show that. And I'm going to show you a command right now. It's called distance. You start typing that in, and it's pretty much your only option. When you hit enter, it's going to give you the option to select things. If you don't have, see how it says the word near on mine? And then when I get close to this, it switches to endpoint. These are the object snaps. If you're not seeing that, down in the lower portion of the screen where it says grid snap, ortho, gumball, all that stuff, you need to turn your object snaps on. So when you turn that on, this whole row right here becomes active, and essentially what I have on is endpoint. And so whenever I come up to an endpoint on anything, it's going to object snap directly to it. And so that's going to allow me to check my distance. So now I can see from the bottom here, and I'll click to the top, and we have 30 feet. Now in the previous videos I had dropped this plane to about 20 feet because I wasn't sure how low to drop it, and we've determined now that this lowest plane is actually 30 feet below our 0 point, or where our streets are. So we want to extrude our streets down 30 feet. So let's select our street solid, and we're not going to do it all at once. Let's do it part by part. So let's select this portion first, and this is the left side of the river, and let's go ahead and extrude that downward. So we're going to extrude that surface, and the magic number was -30, right? You can also, with your object snaps on, select that lowest point right there, and it'll drop it down like that. But for the sake of, since we've been using numbers, let's just go -30. So now we've added thickness to that. So if we turn off our street surfaces, now we have the thickness there, right? And that's looking good. Now it's even. Now we have one thick model. So let's do the other side. So I'm going to select this one now. And it's not this information on the side. Let's not worry about that for now. We're going to leave those things over here deselected. We're just going to do this big street chunk. And let's extrude that surface. And we're going to go -30 as well. So when I hide my street surfaces, now I have my two solid pieces of the street there. So if we flip on our parcel solid, we'll see that we start to have a little bit of a discrepancy there, right? They're not as thick. So we want to fix that. And do we really want to go through the whole process of deleting it all and redoing everything we just did? I don't think so, right? It's not worth it. It's a lot of time. So I'm going to show you guys a new command. It's going to allow you to scale these things similar to how you would move things, or how you would extrude something up and down. You can also take something and you can scale it in one direction downward. And so I just literally said the name of it right now, and it's called Scale1d. So let's type in Scale1d. There's also a Scale2d. We're not going to worry about that right now. We're just going to do 1d. And what that stands for is it's scaling your objects in one direction. So that's why it's 1d. And so it's asking select objects to scale. So we want to scale our parcels, right? And we want to scale our parcels that are solid. So I'm going to select the parcel solid, and I'm going to go select objects. So now I've selected every single solid parcel that's available. Now that it's done that, the command line up on top, it says press enter when done. So now I'm going to press enter. And now it asks for an origin point. And so what that's asking is, where are we going to start from? And then if you guys can guess, the next question is going to be, where are we going to end, right? So we need to choose a point where we're going to start. Lucky for us, all these parcels are the exact same thickness right now, right? So if you think about it, the top plane of all of them, they're all in the same plane. So we can pick an origin point almost anywhere. So let's start off and let's do it in a spot where we can snap to our streets. So I'm going to zoom in over here and I'm going to get right in on this corner here. Oop, a little too far. Now once you get as close as possible without going through it like that, and you get as close as possible, we can do something here where we can get even closer without having this error, right, where it zooms too far. So if you look right here, we have this magnifying glass with a dashed line. This is one of the only commands that you can click and do a command within a command. Because right now we're trying to do Scale1d, right? But also at the same time, we can adjust how much we're zooming. So if we click this and we draw a window right here on this corner, it's going to take us right to it. But we're still in our Scale1d command. So now that we've zoomed in closer, now when we zoom in and try to get closer, we don't zoom past it, right? We're zooming in front of it. So this is what we're going to do here. We're going to select our origin point, and our origin point is going to be the top. So we're going to click that, and now it's asking, and this is actually, I neglected to say this part, it's asking scale factor or first reference point, right? So we need to choose where we're going to start scaling and what we need to scale. So we need to scale the thickness of our parcels, right? So now we're going to select the lowest point of the parcel, which is right here. And now it's asking, where's our secondary reference point? So this was our first reference, and where's our second reference? All the way down at the bottom, right? So as soon as you start doing that, you see everything start to follow suit. So now we'll take it all the way down to the end point, and we'll click. And now that's taken a solid object and changed its thickness without having to go through the whole process of redoing it.